One person has been confirmed dead and 48 others injured in the Johannesburg CBD explosion. The cause of that explosion tore through Bree Street yesterday and has still not been determined. But several possibilities are being investigated, including a gas leak, or it could be illegal underground mining. The Gauteng Premier, Panyaza Lesufi, says they are trying to locate the families of those affected.
Unfortunately, during the process of handing over the vehicles that were affected to their owners, we found a body of a male underneath the cars, and that particular body has not been identified, and we are trying to locate relatives and family members. The collated information about the number of people that were injured now stands at 48. But currently we only have 12 patients that are remaining in the hospital. The rest has been discharged.
Well, let's stay with this story. The Gauteng Premier also saying that gas experts have been brought in to assist with identifying the cause of the deadly incident.
Because we are suspecting gas, we have now formally brought all institutions that deal with gas. We now have Egoli Gas, we have brought Sasol, and we are bringing anyone that has either underground pipes or cabling, telecom, water, and any institution that we really believe will assist us just to determine the cause of the impact and also give us the necessary advice. So we approach those institutions, including City Power, who have since taken a decision to switch off. I think that's the Bree Street substation. So that the team can go in there, identify the cause, and also assist us to identify areas of intervention, areas that need our immediate intervention.
Well, let's get an update now. Our reporter, Zola Sholwana, is on the ground in the Johannesburg CBD. Zola, good morning to you. So the authorities still no wiser about what could have caused this explosion. However, what is certain is that a number of people are now homeless. Where are those people likely to be sheltered?
Well, Xoli, when we spoke to officials earlier, they said they will find a temporary shelter for those people that were rescued. Now, I actually wanted to show you earlier on that there was a business that was operating earlier on, and police forced that person to close down the business because that meant that people that live in these buildings would make their way to buy, necessary stuff like your bread and milk to that shop, and that obviously meant that there'll be movement. Now, to avoid movement, it meant that those businesses had to close down as well, and that gentleman was forced to close down his business. Now, we are told that they are still searching for some people that could possibly be stuck when we spoke to EMS earlier on, but those that are in their buildings are considered to be safe, as there's nothing at this point that could pose a threat to them, Xoli. And we tried to get people to speak to us about this, but as you can see that there's no one besides law enforcement officials on the scene and experts that are really trying to get to the bottom of this. Those who tried to get closer to the scene were chased away by the police, and someone actually was kept in that vehicle, someone that tried to get on the scene. So you can see that it's actually quite strict in terms of getting closer to the scene, as this is regarded as a crime scene. We were told that people need to keep away from this area for the next 4 hours at least. And police said, we spoke to the commissioner earlier on, who mentioned that they will be here for visibility purposes and also making sure that people don't get close to this place until, the experts do their job and get it done.
Yeah. Zola, at least we know now that sadly one person died yesterday. And do we know just how many people could potentially still be missing? Has anyone come forward to say a relative cannot be located?
Well, at this moment, Xoli, no one has come forward, according to the information that we received from the police earlier, to say there's a family member that is missing. But what we know is that the numbers that were mentioned, which was 41 people that were rescued and one male that was found dead. So that's the only information that we have at our disposal at this moment. Of course, the search is still going on, so maybe they could possibly find some people as the search is still going on.
Overnight, Zola, Sholwana, the people that were out there, including people like yourself, reporters, suggesting that they could still smell gas in the air. Is there still a stench of that toxic smell?
Well, I mean, Xoli, being here, we can actually smell, the gas, and I'm not sure if you might have seen earlier the presence of Igoli in the area, trying to, take care of that situation, and also residents that were walking around as well, spoke about that, saying that they don't believe that this is over yet. They are afraid that another explosion could possibly happen closer, or rather to these streets, which is the Lilian Street and Loveday Street. So at this point, even those that are in their areas, or rather in their apartments, are not feeling safe. As you can see, that people are those who are walking rather, are allowed to make their way to where they're going, but you're not allowed to stand still, because the police are saying that could also pose a danger to you as a person. So they don't know whether they should stay in their apartments or maybe just be outside of any possibility.
Well, Zola, but you see, now that is something that I suppose the authorities should be blamed for, because as you talk to us, there are still people being accompanied by law enforcement, almost being evacuated from what I could tell on the screen, but there are those who are still inside the buildings. What exactly is the message from authorities? Should people evacuate the area that is cordoned off, where you are right now, or are people told to simply remain in their buildings?
So when we were told by the EMS Xoli earlier on, they told us that it is safer to be inside their premises, just avoid being outside. But now, those that witnessed all of this happen, those that live very close to the street, which is Lilian Street, are actually afraid that something could happen while they're inside the building. And obviously, that's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for them to actually evacuate the building. So hence, they're making a lot of movement outside. But now, law enforcement officials are then saying being outside also poses a risk, because experts still need to be on the scene and make sure that they come up with a solution, or rather find out what caused this. So they're not really sure where to be, whether to be inside their premises or outside at this point, Xoli.
Well, it is a worrying situation, whichever way you look at it. Thank you very much for the time being, Zola Sholwana. A sense that perhaps there should be one key message from authorities as to what exactly people should do. You can't just hold a press conference for the sake of holding a press conference.